Woody had gone right to the police, this would never have happened. If Woody had gone right to the police, this would never have happened.
Uh-oh.
So, there are liberties being taken, like, there's going to be an increased amount of shit talk.
Oh, I have to remind myself I'm here willingly.
Catch one with a little bit of attitude, big guy?
Man, you champion son.
It's a kangaroo court.
What do you mean? How is the NFL a kangaroo court?
Could you please let me explain why?
No, I don't want to hear this garbage. Give me an answer to the questions I asked you.
What the fuck are we doing?
Come on with it, baby!
Thanks, boy.
Italian. I'll talk to you later.
All right. My undercarriage is sweating. For the best Italian food in Western New York, Elliot Apollo's, call 716-825-3675. The Lardon Construction Group.
Fubo TV, the official streaming service of Do Champions. FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Do Champions.
For all your summertime needs, beauty pools, as well as kayak pools.
CX Chronicles, your total customer solutions focused manager. W.GG, the official energy drink of Do Champions.
Hey, Sons of Erie, our artwork looks better on your walls. Hamburg Brewing, please visit our tap room on Boston State Road, Hamburg, New York. And finally,
Fat Boy Surf Club for all your surfing needs.
hello, friends. How's everybody doing today? What's going on? 30 Manageable Podcast. We're lounging. We're playing through injury. My name's Student Body Right. On Matt's right. 9:30 p.m. We thought we were going to start on time, but it's always the right time and on time. And I bring you my co-host. To my left, at Matt Diegert on Twitter, Mr. Matty Diegert. What's going on, my man?
Not too much. I'm glad to be here. Glad we got got everything pretty much set up, managed pretty well.
You look
tonight.
like you are lounging right now. Can you sit up at all?
No.
Just be a little bit professional. I know it's Saturday, but and speaking of professionalism, we got Ty on the ones and twos over there. What up, Tyler? How you doing?
Let's go, boys.
Hey, there we go. We got a special edition tonight. We're going to break it up a little bit. We got a lot to talk about. In the show, a lot of moving and shaking. The offseason is certainly in full swing. We're going to do the dodgeball draft. Maddie, tell what the dodgeball draft is and what we came up with.
Yeah, so, I mean, we're going to do something a little bit fun tonight before we get heavy into the offseason here in the next, 10 days or so. The dodgeball draft is something that a student came up with and called me on Wednesday and goes, hey, I got a great idea for a show.
We're going to see how great it is.
I was like, wait a second. Let's think about, and then we sat down on Friday for our production meeting, and he's like, this is, and I thought it was a great idea.
Yeah, last time you let me run with an idea, I fired off a tweet that Tommy Doyle was retiring, so.
Yeah, that's definitely true. So,
what, that he retired?
Yes.
Oh, yes, yeah, that is factually accurate. So we're going to get through the dodgeball draft. We got some combine high performers, some free agent banter. We're going to go over the salary cap, some rumors. That big number came out, and we'll get to drafting some of our teams. As always, sponsored by Ilio DePaulos. Can't thank them enough for season-long sponsors. Best Italian food in Western New York. Everything you need, Matt.
Nothing you don't.
So, man, let's get into it. We got the combine off and running in Indianapolis, Indiana. What I know is Lucas Oil Field. I'm sure they've changed it by them. They've certainly changed some head coaches. R.I.P. Frank Reich. Miss that guy. We'll have him back on.
Not R.I.P., but like, let's not go that far. Like,
yeah, let's not bring Ray Lewis in the situation. So anyway, we got some combine performers. They're going off in Indy. You got everything. You got the vert. You got the bench press. You got the 40. And some of those guys are going to need to perform high to be drafted high. Maddie, anything kind of stick out in watching it? We know we got boots on the ground there in terms of coverage. You got Mr. Greg Thompson, who's on the show last week. He was great. Had a fun show. Last time we got Alex Brasky, who is coming up 2 weeks, and Mr. Ryan Talbot as well.
Yeah, 15th, I just talked to Alex tonight. He had gotten back to me. He's okay moving. We're going to do it virtual with him.
Okay.
In probably either the 22nd or the 29th. The 15th, we have Ryan Talbot on, which is great. Finally, glad we were finally able to get that hooked up. when we do that live from DePaulo's. And then also too, big one too. The founder of Raz will be on.
Oh yeah, Essel. And later in the year we'll get Mr. Brian Dable as well. But in terms of we're moving kind of fast through the show with the late start, there's some people that move fast today, running that 40 time. We're not looking at Xavier Worthy 40 times. He ran that.
Even though Isaiah Bond said he was going to break that record.
Yeah, you can't say you're going to run a 4-1 or a 4-2 and then run what, a
4-4.
Yeesh. Anyway, Xavier Worthy did run that last year at a 4.21 a combine record. But the top performers today, Matthew Golden out of the University of Texas. They got some
4.29.
4.29, official 4.3 on the laser. Darian Porter, cornerback, Iowa State. He clocked in at a 4.3. And the best performer today, we got a 4.28 out of Kentucky, out of Maxwell Harrison. In terms of...
And that was yesterday.
Yes,
that was yesterday.
But
no, and real quick, yesterday, probably the biggest mover yesterday was Nick Eman-Worry. Is safety I love out of
you think we go safety again?
South Carolina.
You just love him as a player, or you love him as a prospect?
I mean I love him as a prospect. The kid can come in and probably play that like we were talking about with so don't be surprised if the Bills do try and go after Shaq Thompson.
Mr. Ryan Talbot was on all over that today. You like him as a big nickel.
I do. He performed very, very well. He was in that Sean McDermott defense. He's one of the guys that made that defense tick, along with Luke Kuechly and things like and guys like that.
That was a very good 2015-2016 defense that Sean McDermott was at.
15-1. That defense allowed them to be 15-1. It wasn't just Cam Newton.
That was obviously on the Carolina Panthers.
Correct. Shaq Thompson is becoming a free agent, or has already become a free agent. I don't know whether they've released him already, or if it's going to be a March 12th
March designation.
release. But I could see the Bills going after Shaq Thompson to go back into that big nickel role. Or even if they draft the Nick Eman-Worry, if they take him at 30, I don't think he's going to last much further than that, because he scored a perfect 10 Raz.
Yeah, and that's a big score. Raz, for anybody who is not with the program, it's been talked about a lot on Twitter. Raz, short for relative athletic score. We'll have at MathBomb coming on the podcast soon. Hey, to take it a little bit off the draft, we had a conversation. A little bit of some people out there right now. Two guys I want to touch on, Maddie, and I want your opinion on. One, a familiar name, and not because of his health last year, and that is going to be Hollywood Brown. Let me start that out. What's your long view on that guy's health? Because we all know what he can do when he's healthy.
Yeah, when he's actually healthy and on the field, he is, he is a very good wide receiver, very, very fast. But also too, he's only played 2 full seasons. He's only been able to provide 2 full seasons of consistent play, and even this year, just another thing that pops up with the shoulder in preseason and is out. Yeah. He only played 2 regular season games this year, and then yes, he was a contributor in the playoffs, but you got to have, like we always say on the show, the best ability is
availability.
And when you're not available and you can't help your team,
you're not
out,
on the stat sheet. You don't accrue the bending performances that get you to win.
The one player that I'm looking at, and I hope the Bills do go after, he's somebody who has not had really good quarterback play on him.
I know you're going to say.
He actually had, I think he was 8.86 or 8.68.
Elijah Moore. You're talking about Elijah Moore?
I am talking about Elijah Moore. 4.35, coming out of the draft. Drafted in 2021, was with the Jets, and then went and played with the hapless Cleveland Browns, who, as of last year, had Ken Dorsey as a offensive coordinator who, got let go as well.
Yeah, I mean, he did play with Sam Darnold. He did play with Deshaun Watson. They've had shining moments, but nothing the consistent wide receiver play that we became.
But I mean, it comes down to it. Yeah, his market value is about I think it was like 4.75. Something like that for 1 year. I'd have to go back, or 4.3, somewhere in there between 4 and 5 million. And I think that's a good flyer to take, especially with Sean McDermott talking about wanting to go, play horizontally and vertically, using speed to cover every blade of grass horizontally and vertically. And that's something that Josh does need, is that guy that can take take the top off the defense, whether that's somebody like an Elijah Moore or somebody you draft in the draft, because it really does come down to it. And I think that they do need that. That's something that this team has been lacking. And it's not, I know everybody's like, wish list, especially with the rumors about DK Metcalf.
Seahawks.
DK Metcalf, who ran a 4.3, which is actually still one of the records at the combine.
But his 3-cone drill, he maneuvered that like a Boeing 707.
He did.
That was his biggest knock. He did not have a very good 3-cone drill. And as Bud Carpenter would say, what would he say about that 40-yard dash?
It's literally just a spectacle.
It is, because there's not a single play outside of, and it's since been decremented because of the new kickoff rules. There's not a single play in the NFL where you're running in an uninhibited straight line.
Minus an all go.
But you're not. That's still not uninhibited.
And that's the thing. Even if you're running like a sluggo, there's no. You're still stopping. You still got to use and then go. That's one of the things that you're using in the 3-cone drill to be able to go around the cones, and that start stop movement is a huge thing. And as much as everybody wants DK Metcalf because he's a big 6'3", over 230 pounds, and he runs that 4.3 speed. Absolute freak athlete. He is a little bit. I don't want to say diva because he's not a diva, but he is he does have those mental lapses on the field where he shows that emotion.
Emotion's good, but controlled motion is better.
It's got to be a controlled emotion. It can't be, I just took a 15-yard penalty because I threw my helmet on the field. I got mad at the cornerback. I got, I use my mouth to talk on the, and if all that stuff he can come in here and be, a model citizen, nonetheless. And, one of the things also too is his cap hit is actually very, very manageable. Greg just put it out on Twitter yesterday when, I can't remember, Corbin Brown or somebody I can't remember the exact person, but he's a Seahawks reporter. Greg said it's about 18 million, that it would be, that they would be taking on because they're taking on that salary, and that salary again can be restructured, and you can extend the player and bring that number down.
I'm going to throw it to Ty Bone over there. Ty, what's your opinion over there of DK Metcalf? Is he a guy that you want on this squad?
He's gonna be the same player that you just drafted, Coleman. He's the guy that gets the deep ball. He's that basketball player like that. Get
go
rebounds.
Up and get it.
Yeah. So what are you doing with that? You need 2 of those guys? Do you?
But it comes down to the same type of thing last year. Is I was all on Leggett. I was on Coleman. I was on these other guys, and but one of the guys that other people wanted was somebody like a Ladd McConkey, but I was of the mind also, and I was wrong. I'll eat my crow on that. But I was wrong on saying it, is to not, you don't need that type of player because you already have Ladd McConkey at home and Khalil Shakir. But when you can put that type of player on the field, and you just get the skill players on the field and let Josh do what Josh does and get these guys the ball when they get open. But and that's not to say Keon Coleman's going to be a bust or anything like that.
No, but he's certainly on notice with the commentary that Bean put out. The standard is the standard, and he did not play up to the standard.
And I do feel a little bit bad for him because and it's not like, oh, I feel bad for you, let me give you a hug. Not that type of feel bad, but like I feel bad.
I feel like you didn't need to go into that. But
I feel bad for him in the sense that I don't think Brandon Beane should have went that far because he was playing very, very well and starting to come into his own until the Bills played the Dolphins and Jordan Poyer put his helmet into Coleman's wrist
back, whatever.
Right into his wrist with his helmet, and that cost him, the season basically.
No, I agree with you. We got a comment from Spaghetti Steve over here. He's asking us thoughts on the Debo trade. for the United. The 49ers have traded wide receiver Deebo Samuel to the Washington Commanders in exchange for what we would assume is a 5th-round pick. That trade will become official on March 12th. He was drafted in 2009, Maddie. That's a 5th-round pick?
2019.
He was. I'm saying.
You said 2009 he was drafted.
2019 he was drafted, but in exchange, it's anticipated they will get a 5th-round pick.
That's standard for that type because
you think that's standard
for that type of receiver because he had a down year last year. He also was injured last year. He couldn't stay on the field the last couple of years.
I don't know, bro. That seems cheap.
But it's on the cheaper side. But also too, you got to think of they're taking on his contract as well. He is, he's got to prove that he's is able to stay on the field. Again, another guy, the best ability is
availability. No, I feel you on that. He is out of the 2019 draft, and they will be receiving a 5th-round pick that will hit the ledger on March 12th. What also will hit the ledger in terms of the Bills, Khalil Shakir. We're going for $15 million there. Maddie, why don't you hit me with that? What do you think about that one?
Yeah, no, I was very, very ecstatic that they were able to get him. Friend of the show, Greg Tomset, said that even himself, he put it out there. He thought it was going to be around that $19 million number. We even put it out. I think we had him at 17 and a half is I think that was the market value for him that we had put out. I'd have to go back and double check that, but I think we put it out right there. And he even came in less than that. He was 4 years, 60.2, but he is getting a lot of money up front, $32 million at signing. And then he's also getting another 12 in the first 18 months or
we talked about it last night. The agent number that comes out, you think it kind of realizes around 11 to 12.75 somewhere around there?
I think his will be a true 15. I don't think that's that one's incentive based. I think that was negotiated to the point where it's, and I think that's going to be very different than James Cook. I think James Cook.
What do you think? What do you think he realizes?
I think he's going to be the next guy that's extended personally. I think that they're going to end up doing 4 years. I think the agent number may come out around 15. But I think that
below Saquon.
I think he's going to be below Saquon Barkley, above Josh Jacobs, because I think that James Cook is on the ascension, where Josh Jacobs is on like a leveled out path and potentially could be looking, because he gets the ball a lot more. He had 100 more touches than James Cook did last year, and I truly think that number is going to come in 4 years, $12.25 million, right around there. And then the agent number with the incentives, whether it's likely to be earned, not likely to be earned, whatever you want to call it, not likely to be earned would allow that agent number to go up higher. And if he's able to hit those numbers, then he'll be able to, and that's the difference between likely to be earned, is that's something that's already built into the cap for this year. So that would be something more like to go along. Like if he's already hit, likely to be earned, he hits 1,000 yards, he's going to get a bonus again for that, but that's already into the cap for this year. Whereas a not likely to be earned bonus is going to be at the if he hits it, like the Von Miller stuff.
Sure, yeah.
If he hits that stuff, because he didn't hit it the year before, he had 0 sacks. He hit 6 sacks this year. He made himself, some of his money back. Whereas the not likely to be earned is something that James Cook didn't hit last year. So maybe it's 2,000 scrimmage yards, something that's like attainable, but it's out there, way out there. So if he hits 2,000 scrimmage yards, the cap then will be hit at the end of the year.
What do you think we start talking about this the penultimate JA restructure?
I think it's already being talked about. I think that's something that's probably going to be done this year, because they're gonna either have to do the extension before to clear up some of that money, or they're going to restructure and then have to figure out the extension from there. But I do think that's going to come in right around $60.8 million.
Oh, okay, you got some specific numbers. I like it, man. Ty, anything on the docket for you as we go into this? a little bit. Do you see that there's any candidates for a little bit of a restructure job, kind of looming in the pipeline?
Honestly, I think it's just going to be McDermott and Baller Bean doing the defense on the draft. That's how it seems. Myles Garrett possibly going to different teams. If we get him, great. There's other prospects out there, but I really think the way that this team has been structured in the past is Bean thinking that he's going to get it done in the draft, and we'll see.
Yeah, I'm pretty sick of that whole adage that Bean's asleep at the wheel for the first 100 miles of it. I think anybody that subscribes to that, we're not with it in the first and second round. These are really defined picks. These are high level players that have been playing for a while, high caliber. They've been vetted all the way back probably till their 8th grade spelling bee. For anybody who subscribes to the adage that Bean just falls asleep, hey, could we do better? Yes. Hindsight is 20/20, my friend. But to say that we really turn on the Jets or really sharpen our pencils, yes, that's where we've seen value in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round, and that's where we've gotten a lot of these deliverable guys. We've seen Spencer in the 3rd. We've seen Khalil Shakir in the 5th.
I personally had a 3rd round grade on him when he came out that year, and for him to last as far as he did, I was ecstatic for the Bills to get him where they did.
We're going to comment here from Scotty Steve. He's asking us right now, why resign Cook when he still has 1 more year? I don't think that Cook is a huge priority to be in comparison to Benford or even Bernard, especially when Cook has a year to play.
So I think it's also a good idea to get him signed now. That way he doesn't have a huge year, another huge year. He has if he turns into having a Saquon Barkley type year, then he's going to be asking for that $15 million. He should be getting it. Whereas if you get him signed now and you get him under that that $12.5 million rate between there, you're kind of setting yourself up for the future. If he hits those numbers, he's gonna make that those not likely to be earned incentives, but it kind of prevents you from having to deal with him in the near future.
Sure, absolutely. And that's kind of the news and notes of what's going on in the NFL. We got one more day of the combine tomorrow. If you haven't got your State Emerald Stakes, anybody on the beats on the ground, I'm sure that place is popping right now. As Matt Close says, a lot of these contracts are going to be negotiated at those bars, in those hotel rooms, and that's kind of where all the good work gets done, or at least gets the conversations in motion. Matty, you ready to do this thing?
Yeah, let's.
We're gonna present it to you. Presented by Sons of Erie. Artwork looks better on your walls. This is the Dodgeball Draft. The Dodgeball Draft. Here are the rules. This is what it's gonna consist of. We must name a team captain. That team captain must become a former player. From there,
one of the former players.
One of the former players. From there, we will draft 3 current players, and then from there, we will draft a current draftee in the 2025 draft, as well as a free agent. We're trying to fill out a dodgeball roster here. We're going old school Billy Madison snake draft. And
hey, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Hey, and if you can dodge this show, I implore you to turn it off now. So, anyway, Matt, to me.
Yes, you are. You rolled the die and you got the 6. I got a 4. So you got the first overall pick.
I got the first overall pick. I switched it up on you. I switched up who my pick is. With the first pick in the Dodgeball Draft coming from a former player, I am going to select Mr. Ryan Fitzpatrick. I'm selecting Mr. Ryan Fitzpatrick to caption the student body dodgeball team to inflict pain and murder on your soul. So we throw it to you, Matt. Who is going to captain your dodgeball team in the schoolyard?
Yeah, my first pick in the Dodgeball Draft is going to be Jim Kelly.
Okay. Now are we talking Jim Kelly now?
No, not Jim Kelly. Not like we're talking.
We're talking K-Gun.
Yeah, we're talking K-Gun Jim Kelly. Like,
and to be clear, we're throwing old school rubber.
Yeah,
rubber.
Absolutely,
balls.
rubber balls. None of this like childish, like, oh, it's a foam ball.
Well, I would say the reason I like my Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's a morale guy. and he's probably
Well, he's also ripping that shirt off, and
he's going to be more aerodynamic, right? So for those keeping him at home, I'm going to be captain of Team Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I mean, he's got a nice sweater on all the
My
time.
girl
already,
knitted me this sweater. So we got Team Ryan Fitzpatrick over here. We got Team Jim Kelly to you. Two guys that one is in the wall. I don't know if Fitzy will ever do it, but he's definitely doing it for Amazon, and he's doing it well. It was great to see him come back. He's played for a lot of teams, Matt, and for him to call home, it seems he's not calling, the Dolphins home. He's not calling the Rams home. He's not calling the Commanders home. He's calling the Bills home. Can you speak to that and kind of what that means and how he roots for a community that needs one?
I mean, it's definitely a nice thing to hear that from anybody. I mean, you see it with a lot of players that still around this area. I mean, friend of the show, Aaron Williams. Come on with it.
Come on with it.
It's nice to see these guys come back and be a huge part of Buffalo to this day. They're kind of entwined in the community. In a lot of different aspects. It's nice to see any of these guys come back. Even like Jim Kelly, still living in the area. Thurman Thomas still living in the area. All those guys. So I mean, it's definitely a nice thing to see when they're when they're at they treat Buffalo at home like it's home.
All right, Matty, to you. This has got to be a current man on the roster. Who are you going to pick to fill out your roster?
I mean, let's be serious. Throwing those rubber balls. I'm taking Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. Yeah, you're gonna screw me on that one, man. You're really
a little bit. I mean, when he talking about the combine and everything like that, him throwing a football 62.5 miles an hour, which actually or 65 miles an hour, which actually equates to about 105 mile an hour baseball pitch.
Yeah. So, man, you went and took Josh Allen. Since it is a snake draft, that one's gonna be hard. That one's gonna be hard to come back from. For all those keeping it at home, pick 1 goes to Ryan Fitzpatrick. For me, captain of my dodgeball team. Pick 2, Jim Kelly, for Mr. Matty Diegert, and pick 3 going with Josh Allen. Matty, pick 3 is going to you.
No, it's up to you. You're up. We're on pick 4.
Oh, we're on pick 4.
Yeah.
Pick 4. I'm going with the man who just signed. Who makes you cover every blade of grass like we talked about. He's could be a vertical threat. He's a yards after catch guy. He's a move and shake guy. He's really thrived in this Joe Brady offense. My pick 4 is going to be Mr. Khalil Shakir. Khalil Shakir, I think, is everything you need, whether you put a basketball in his hand or you put a dodgeball in his hand or a football in his hand. He's been a convertible resource when he does have a football in his hand, and I'm praying he could do just as much for myself and my team led by Mr. Ryan Fitzpatrick. So go back. My team right now filling out my roster is Mr. Ryan Fitzpatrick, Khalil Shakir, while Matty is with Jim Kelly and Josh Allen. Pick 5 is going to go right back to me. And I want some brawn. I want some muscle. I want everything you need.
Nothing you don't.
He's the big guy. He is the dog. Say it with me now, Matt.
Dog.
Mr. 70. Alec Anderson. I want that ferocity. It did get away from him, Matt, a little bit in the season. I really thought he was going to murder someone in that one game where he drew a PI. As long as he remembers to check into the dodgeball game, I think I have a good chance of getting some brawn going here. So my pick 5 would be Alec Anderson to fill out my dodgeball team, Matt. Pick 6 is going to go right to you.
And my next pick is going to be James Cook.
James Cook. Explain that one for me, bud.
So I feel like he's elusive. He can move in tight spaces. So having to dodge the ball is definitely something. One of the reasons why I took him.
I mean, yeah. And James Cook, I think. Do you think that deal gets done?
I do. I think.
Do you think he plays out this one?
The way that Sean McDermott spoke about him when he was asked about him, the first night that the coaches and GMs were there, he spoke glowingly of James Cook, and then the next day Brandon Beane was asked about him, and he even said he said he's a beautiful man. Like,
I kind of like how forthcoming they are, like right now, like just in the media, kind of just gloating. It's everything that they talked about, and it started at camp last year when they're playing Settlers of Catan, they're playing Cards, they're playing Call of Duty, they're playing Madden in the locker room. I like that it doesn't seem, as you lose players, it doesn't seem like we've lost culture.
correct.
And that everybody knows that's a big thing to me. Matt, to the 7th pick. To you, you're picking pick 5 once again to Al Ganderson. To me, pick 6 would be James Cook. To you, I like
And
that a
to
lot.
7, my next pick is going to be Keon Coleman.
Keon Coleman.
Height, can go up and get the ball. He can catch. He has really good hands. Catches the ball. So any of those fastballs that come in from Ryan Fitzpatrick or anybody like that, he's gonna try and catch the ball, and anybody who's out is gonna come back.
Yeah, do you think he wears a Guardian cap if he plays this?
No.
Will
not at all.
Shakir wear a Guardian cap?
No, I don't think anybody wears a Guardian cap.
I mean, how prevalent do you think you're going to see? You're going to see an uptick this year? You think of Guardian caps this year as we bring this kind of stuff
I mean,
up?
it really depends. I think maybe you see a couple more players, maybe from the draft, wearing them potentially. But I mean, we'll definitely see. I would like to see the numbers on the
How much empirical data?
correct with the concussions and things like that, because I mean that's the thing. Taylor Rapp was a huge proponent, but a huge he got a lot of concussions, before he started wearing that, and then he had one this year, and then came back and wore the Guardian cap, and continued to throw his body around like he had before, but also didn't have concussions, didn't have the concussion issues.
Is that tied into concussion protocol? When you're dealt one of those concussions, you have to come back and wear those. I don't know if that's written into the bylaws.
I don't think it is. I think that they give them the choice. So I think that he took advantage of that. And I you saw DeMar wear it after his concussion too.
Yeah. It's just so nice that we can sit here and once again we're rounding out. This will be my last pick for current players on the roster. Once again, to recap the rules here, the first pick had to be a Bills alumni. The second pick and third pick and fourth pick all had to be current Bills rosters, with the last 2 picks coming as either free agents or part of the NFL draft. I will tell you that Terrell Bernard is going to be my 8th pick. Terrell Bernard is a guy that I believe was a lot of what we needed. We vacated a arms race when Roquan Smith of the Baltimore Ravens went and reset the linebacker market, which in turn directly impacted how much Trey Edmonds signed for, and ultimately exited the Buffalo Bills in lieu for the Windy City. I was really happy, man, that we didn't go chasing waterfalls like the late T-Boz, Lisa Left Eye Lopez, and Chili would say. I'm pretty sure Lisa Left Eye Lopez she's dead, but she did light a house on fire. And I'm hoping that Terrell Bernard can continue to lead the house at the helm of our Mike linebacker. Man, in watching him play, it was definitely tangible when he faced some of his injuries. He's a smaller guy. He's not as big as Trey Edmonds was. He certainly he'd be probably more analogous to a body type of Taron Johnson versus Dorian Williams and stuff like that. And I thought he held his own despite his stature. He's got another offseason to get in a nutrition program, to get in the highly coveted weight room program. And you saw that at the end of the season as they talked about in the media, the NFL survey, that the Buffalo Bills were regarded as having one of the best weight room systems available to them in the National Football League. Matt, were you surprised about some of the bad grades we got, mainly travel?
Yeah.
We got an F grade.
I did not, and it was an F minus. It wasn't even just an F. It was an
I don't know
F
if that
minus.
exists.
And it sucks because I truly think that this team, I don't know what it constitutes. I didn't see the survey. We don't see the survey or anything like that, but it's unfortunate that the team got, that great of travel or anything like that on that. I mean, I was also
Ed Bastion. Shout out St. Francis High School. Shout out Eric Wood. Damn it.
You did it. You did it again.
Damn it. Did it again. If anybody's keeping track at home, I just can't
You know,
call a podcast.
I will say the one thing you did not. You did go one full show without mentioning him last week.
Damn, I guess I gotta fire myself.
You're fired.
Nice. I'll put it in a midnight email. Anyway.
Wah wah wah.
Fucking probably the funniest thing fucking the guy's ever said. Anyway, Matt, to you, number 9. Go ahead and pick.
So the next pick is either a choice between a draft pick or a free agent or trade candidate that so I actually took somebody from the draft. I went with Travis Hunter. It doesn't have to be a Buffalo guy or anything like that.
Seems like a cheat code, but go ahead.
Yeah, that's basically why I did it.
Are you drafting the wide receiver Travis Hunter, or are you drafting the defensive back Travis Hunter?
I don't think that there has to be a difference.
Well,
honestly.
okay, you drafted. What's he playing?
Because
there was a guy like this. Hey, there was a guy like this. His name was Jabril Peppers out of the University of Michigan. He also played at the Padawans. They're in New Jersey, not St. Peter's. I don't know. New Jersey school, parochial school. Shout out parochial schools. Jabril Peppers. He was kind of a guy that could probably play both sides of the ball, man. He did it at Michigan, and he did it well. I guess you have some of those guys here who are impactful people. Guys that can return the ball, like Desmond Howard, right? Well, another guy out of University of Michigan. A guy out of the University of Miami, Devin Hester. Do you see a role like that with your main man out of Colorado there? That he's as long as you get the ball in his hands, it really doesn't matter what side of the ball. What
see,
11
and
he's playing with.
I have him. I have him ranked as my second player on my top 100. Because he's going as a cornerback. Now, a lot of teams view him as a wide receiver. I think he's the best wide receiver in the draft. I really do. I think if he had
even with him electing to not participate.
Yeah, I have him as the number one. If he was coming in as a wide receiver into the draft, I would have him as the number one prospect out there. But because he is a cornerback, I list him as my number 2 prospect because I think if he plays on that side of the ball, he's only going to get a package of anywhere from 12 to maybe 20 plays a game as a wide receiver. And I think that takes away from what he can do on that side of the ball. But I could honestly see a team like New England grabbing him. I don't think Tennessee stays with their pick. I don't think that I think that they trade down and potentially take one of the top quarterbacks in the draft or a player like a Mason Graham to pair with Justin Simmons there. So there's a lot of things that they can do, but I can see Mike Vrabel liking Travis Hunter a lot and using him on both sides of the ball.
Get in where you fit in.
Sunshine style. Remember the Titans.
Sunshine. You're killing me, son. Anyway, I want to ask Ty. Ty, I don't remember if we're going to throw it back to a guy out of Vanderbilt who wore number 6. He had a pretty famous quote. He was going to go high in the first round. His name was Jay Cutler. He went and he did the bench press. He went and he did the 40. He went and he did the vert. He did everything because he said he has nothing to hide. What do you think of Travis Hunter, a guy that, excuse me, Matt believes is in the conversation for being a top 2 pick? What do you think about him foregoing the entire NFL Combine? Do you think there's something to hide there, or do you just think the way of the Combine is just not the way we do things in the different landscapes of where the NCAA is moving?
Yeah, I think he's just doing a marketing move right now. He's doing the best that he can. He's doing cornerback, wide receiver, but who else has done it? Who else has done that? Who else has done it? Pay me my money and draft me.
Yeah, no, but if you're all that in a bag of chips, Ty, Why wouldn't you just go out and show it like the rest of, I would assume, 95% of your first 3-round picks are doing right now in Indianapolis? Why does he forego that process?
Straight up tactic. No one's done it before. Someone's in his ear, and guess what? It's Deion Sanders. It's Deion Sanders telling him, "Hey, man, do this."
Matt, I'd like your opinion on that. He's claiming there's a little bit of Deion influence. Yeah. Obviously, a guy out of Florida State who does have a touch of
and
Travis
his
Hunter.
Former coach.
Correct. That's obviously what we're alluding to. But a guy that, was returning kicks, whether it be with the Niners, the Falcons, or the Cowboys. And he had an ability where when the ball was in his hands, something dynamic. Prime time was about to happen. Do you think he has due influence in Travis Hunter not performing this weekend at the NFL Combine?
A little bit. I would definitely say that he's in his ear. Letting him know what he's going to do. I mean, you heard anybody who watched Deion's, what do you call it, the ESPN special or whatever it was for him, A Football Life or whatever it was that they did on him. He said that, he went into meetings and he threw notebooks away for other teams because he knew he was going to go top 5. And it's so I can see a little bit of that influence on Travis Hunter to be, to kind of sit back. And that's the other thing, though, too. Him going in as a cornerback, I think he's leaving a lot of money on the table for himself.
Well, is it ultimately his decision?
Yeah, it is. How he comes in there? Yeah, absolutely it is. Absolutely it's his decision how he comes in. Whether he's going to play wide receiver in the NFL or whether he's going to play cornerback.
I think it's a less of a decision of his. He could have a preference, but it's about who owns his rights and who's drafting him. You want to see the field, son, you'll play where we tell you.
And I get that,
I'm going to interject here.
Okay, yeah. you absolutely, you're the floor.
Yeah. He knows exactly what he's doing, dude. He knows
I would hope so.
What he's doing. And what he's doing out there is he's marketing himself for both positions, right? And he's going to kill at both positions, but he has one in mind.
But he's only got one pick of upside the way me and Matt see it. He's either going 2 or 1. So where's this ultimate tactic? It's either you want him or you don't. If you're the number 1 pick, you have carte blanche. So where's the tactic? Why don't you just do everything you're asked to?
There is no want me or you don't. You want me. You want me.
I'm saying he'll probably either go 1 or 2. That guy who's got the first round pick, they either want him or they don't. Because they can draft anybody.
And it's gonna come down to who does want him. And it's either going to be a team like New England that trades up with Tennessee for him, or Tennessee's just going to stay there and take him. But I don't think that they can afford to take a Travis Hunter with the way that their team is. I really don't. I think that they have way too many holes.
Needs.
I think that they have way too many holes, way too many needs to be able to, and we talked about it, and it was funny. I was, watching the Brandon Bean, interview with Pat McAfee, and literally the entire time, the whole best available when available kept coming into my mind as they were talking, and it's, because they were talking, you don't at 30, you don't take a guy. That is a depth piece at 30. You take a guy that is the best available when available based on I can't remember
based on need, versus want, versus weighted utility, and based on development.
Yeah,
development.
Yep.
Yeah. So that swings it to me. My next pick, he's going to be coming out of the draft. He's coming out of Boise State. He's a running back. He has probably one of the most unique pre-snap cadences, pre-snap postures. John Gruden highlighted as Mr. Ashton Genty out of Boise State. I think, for playing in the Mountain West, he sliced it up. But when he got his chances against Power 5, he certainly made his case to be written down on just about every GM scratch pad that if he's there, you got to take a look at him. Matt, you're bigger on this NFL draft than I am. Too many names with too many talents. Ashton Genty, what do you think?
I think he is I don't want to say generational talent, because I don't view him as like how big of a player Saquon Barkley was coming out, but I do think he's on that like just under generational talent level. I think he's going to come in and be a superstar in the NFL. I do have him. I have to pull up my top 100, which will actually go out probably Monday from us here at Do Champions. But we'll definitely take a look at that. And let me see here where we are. But yeah, I mean, Ashton Genty is somebody said that he was basically a better version of Maurice Jones-Drew. I don't view him that way. I think he's more powerful. I think he's faster.
Muscle hamster?
Yeah, I think he's more powerful. I think he's faster. I think he's a much better player than him. And I actually have Ashton Genty as my fifth player in my top 100.
Yeah, I mean, he accrued almost 5,000 yards rushing in college, averaged almost damn near 6.5 yards an attempt, while accruing 50 rushing touchdowns with I think 5 or 6 receiving touchdowns. He's for a running back, he's as close to a multi-tool player as you'd want. And for a landscape of the NFL draft that is slowly starting to lessen the weighted value of running backs in the first round, it's certainly interesting that this name keeps coming up all encompassing in these conversations. I mean, is he a Saquon? Time will tell. These are all young kids. It's all about the adjustment period of how quickly you can get in, learn a very complicated NFL playbook, which is largely predicated on you being able to pass protect, you being able to be a swing back, and you being able to play. If you're a true first-round pick, you can play first down, second down, and third down. That's not the way the Bills play. You'll see they integrate Ray Davis, they integrate Ty Johnson, they integrate James Cook, because they all have different skill sets. I mean, Ty Johnson, he's elusive, he's shifty, he's made some plays as an outlook guy. But he's not going to be able to pro set, pass protect, and jet protect, the way Ray Davis is, and certainly not the way, James Cook probably falls down to the third tier. So I think if you're going to be a top 10 running back thing, you better be able to play all 3 downs.
Correct. And my thing with the NFL draft is I think the days of, your 5, 6, 7, 8 first round draft pick running backs is never going to happen again. I don't think you're going to ever see that again. This year, I think you're only going to see probably either 2 or 3 go in the first round. It's either going to be the way that I have it ranked. I have Ashton Genty, I have Travion Henderson, and then Omarion Hampton. Omarion Hampton had a heck of a day for himself in his combine. Big cat. And he fast, elusive back, but he's also very powerful. I struggle, and I'm sure my running back, top 5 running backs will change as we get through and as I continue to watch more film on these guys. But I think that those 3 are probably first round picks.
So we had to pick 11. Maddie, to you, this has got to be a free agent. Who are you thinking here that you want on your team?
Well, free agent or trade candidate.
Trade agent, candidate, correct.
I'm taking Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett, okay.
And real quick on that, I said it this morning on Hockey Hotline, but when we were talking about Elias Pettersson for the Sabres, if they were to and especially with Vancouver, I truly think it's malpractice by Andrew Barry.
Jesus Christ, man, get off it.
I do. I think it's malpractice by him too. I get it. How you're saying it in the media, but I think at some point, as much as we want him, Myles Garrett is a 29-year-old defensive end. I think that this has to be.
We've reached before there, though.
I think it has to be done and over with by the draft, so that they can go into the draft and take
addressing our real needs.
Address that need of him leaving, because there's so many talented defensive ends, edge rushers in this draft. Shamar Stewart, 10 RAS score. Among Michael Williams, a lot of those guys. You could take a Mason Graham. You can take any of those guys, and it's you gotta have. You can't just go into the draft and be like, okay, I'm keeping Myles Garrett, and then you end up trading him in July, and you've already kind of shit the bed in the draft by not taking a defensive end in what I truly think is a generational draft for defensive ends and tackles. Defensive ends and defensive tackles.
That's going to bring up me, pick 12. He's on the board. He's probably moving and shaking. That's going to be DK Metcalf. Less said, best said with that. We covered him a little bit on this. Just raw speed, raw tenacity, a no quit. I mean, anytime you bring up DK Metcalf, I think about him hawking hawking on a no-quit play, and that is, I shifted back and forth. Ryan Fitz, Don Beebe, who's going to captain this dodgeball team. So if I'm not going to pick Don Beebe, the guy who made one of the greatest effort plays ever, you can check out that episode that we did early in the year with Don Beebe. Shout out to him, great host for coming on and stuff like that, right before a game of which he won. Fantastic thing. So if I'm not going to pick Don Beebe as my captain, I need a guy with the same tenacity, DK Metcalf.
For sure. I mean, DK Metcalf is a great pick there. That late in the dodgeball draft and everything. So, I mean, it really, if the Bills were to some way somehow acquire him, I think that gives Josh that, that kind of gets away from the everybody eats type mantra, right? So, I mean, I truly think that, DK Metcalf coming on this team would be righting a wrong that should have been done years ago in the draft.
Okay.
Because you have DK Metcalf sitting there and you take Cody Ford.
I know,
Where's Cody Ford now?
I don't know. I think he's on a gossip website probably somewhere. I think he's a blogger.
I mean, he's that was his ex-girlfriend, but yeah.
Whatever. He's not in Buffalo.
Not in Buffalo. I think he's in Cincinnati, but
hiccups again?
I mean, it truly, DK Metcalf is I don't want to say, a generational receiver because he's not. He's not a Jerry Rice. He's not a Terrell Owens. He's not, Andre Reed, Randy Moss, any of those guys. But he is that superstar type receiver that, that they could use. They really could, because whether it's a 50-50 ball or running them down the field on a vert.
Yeah, I hear you. So we'll swing it over to Ty. Ty, you heard all our picks now. Give us a fly-by-night drafting kind of landscape of you heard our picks, can't reuse them. Who would you fill out your roster? Once again, reading back the rules, your captain has to be a former Buffalo Bill alumni, with your next 3 picks being a current roster position holder, with your next 2 being a candidate in the 2025 NFL draft that they're currently trying to sort out in Indianapolis, Indiana at the Combine, and your last pick can be a free agent or trade candidate. Producer Ty, hit me with your starting dodgeball team, my man. Who's your captain?
Ready? Are you guys ready? Sean Merriman.
Lights
out, Sean Merriman.
Oh, you dog. You dog.
Yeah.
I did not. There's no way you saw that coming.
I did
Look
not
at how
see that.
happy
I
he is.
did not
No,
see that coming.
no. I'm glad that he's so focused on his phone and he's not switching his cameras, doing his job. He's fucking, look at him. He's so fucking happy that he picked that.
Yeah. If you're talking about a fucking team captain, lights out.
Where'd he play?
Sean Merriman?
Yeah.
Oh, bro. He played everywhere.
University of Maryland. He was a Terrapin. So, Ty, give it to me in a 3-shot order. Who on the current roster of the Buffalo Bills suiting up are you picking? Who's your next 3?
I mean, Trubisky's got to be out there. Someone's got to be slinging some things.
He's actually not on the. He will not be a roster designation. Or well, he would. No,
he is.
He's got a 2-year deal, right?
He'll be, but he is a cut candidate. I mean, he truly is. He's owed some money.
Do you pay him in Bitcoin? Is it money or is it Bitcoin?
It's money.
If he's smart.
It's Dogecoin. Is that what you said?
If he's smart.
All right, next one, Tyler. Who on the next 2 who are on the current Bills roster that you're going to fill out your dodgeball roster with?
Dude, I'm going to Allen Oliver. I fuck with Texas Dog.
Houston, stand up.
Yeah, I fuck with him.
Nice.
Dude rides fucking horses, got a ranch. That dude funds.
He could break in a cult.
I mean, he could do a bunch of things.
Okay, who's your third?
My third, I guess I would put out there. Did you guys put Bedford out there?
No.
Yeah, Bedford.
Christian Bedford, a guy out of Villanova. Once again, one of those value picks we were talking about, Matt.
Yeah.
An FCS guy.
He's another guy that's an extension
FCS
candidate.
guys, man. I like FCS guys. They're in the same conference as mom. Shout out to CAA. You see the helmet over my shoulder right now. I like guys like that. I like guys like Spencer Brown, who's an FCS guy. Mm-hmm. Those things mean a lot to me. So,
and real quick on Christian Benford, we did put that graphic out earlier in the off season. I'm looking for it right now because he is an extension candidate. Let me see here. Boom. That's Bernard Benford. They have his Spot Track has his market value at 4 years, $22.96 million per year, and $91.85 total.
Wow, that's a nice little come up for the guy, for the Villanova Wildcat, traditionally known for basketball. He's going to be known for playing some good football. Ty, who are your last two picks? One's got to be a free agent, one has got to be a free agent or trade candidate, and the other one's got to be from the NFL draft in 2025. Who are your last two picks?
If I got to go free agent, I'm going with Khalil Mack.
Khalil Mack.
That's another good one, and
He's beefing. He's the beefiest. They're not going to have a ton of.
Dude, he
ACL
wants to
there.
come back. He wants to come back.
He's
to,
not from here. He's from
UB.
Plantation, Florida.
Yeah, yeah. But UB, you know.
Okay,
he's
shout out
a-
UB.
He's,
Shout out
he's,
UB.
a, he's a UB guy, and
Look at the helmet behind
I
you.
mean, I like Khalil Mack, but I just wonder how much he has left in the tank. 107 and a half.
Is that a
sacks.
same conversation as Myles Garrett, my man? The guy that
No,
you picked?
not at all. Because you're talking a 4-year difference, a 5-year difference. Because
Three.
no,
It's three.
he'll be 34 at the start of the season.
Miles Garrett is 29 right now.
Right. So
By your math,
34 minus 29.
we're not going to go by the months. I'll just sit here and watch you guys bicker.
But no, when it comes down to it, I truly think that Myles Garrett is in because even if you don't extend him and you have him just for the 2 years, you're probably going to bring him in here to that's a get over the hump type move over the Kansas City, and they're not building their team to beat one team, but it just seems for whatever reason we're always meeting the Kansas City Chiefs in either a divisional or a AFC championship round. Over the last 5 years, it's been the Chiefs and then one game against the Bengals.
All right, Ty, who you got for your 2025 NFL draft candidate?
I also got a question. What are your thoughts of the defensive lineman from Tennessee, one-time Pro Bowler? He's got an ACL injury. He's got nine sacks.
What's his name?
9, 10, and 11 sacks his last 3 years that he's played.
Harold Landry Jr.
The white kid?
This is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen.
Sounds like this is more of an inference than a fucking question, but I like where you're going.
I honestly think we're going to grab that dude, and then Baller Bean is going to try to piece it together defensively in the draft. They're not going to get Myles Garrett. It's not going to happen. They already paid these guys, like, let's call it what it is. They're going to go after this dude that has this ACL injury. He is a Pro Bowler.
Consistent.
He is consistent.
9, 10, and 11 sacks. 9, 10, and 11, right?
10 and a
Well,
half,
but
yeah,
it's
71
the other,
tackles, 9
it's the
sacks
other,
last year, yeah.
It's the other way around. It's 11, 10, 9. So
10 and a half.
well,
You
11,
understand,
10 and a half, 9.
you understand regardless.
Correct.
Hey,
But
Those are the
sometimes a
stats.
half sack is the difference between doing a thigh dance and wait, what?
yes, it'll
Well,
be done as soon as
this
I
is-
find a pair of shorts. All right.
So
Christ, go to
hear me
TJ
out.
Maxx,
This is
dude.
what's going to happen. They're going to get that dude, and they're going to draft around. That's what's going to happen.
All
Myles
right.
Garrett, he might go to the Eagles. I see that happening.
That would kill me in the inside.
Yeah, NFC.
Yeah, a little bit,
We'll see.
little
We'll
bit.
see you. We'll see you there. But
That'll
what are your
kill me a little
thoughts?
bit
What are your thoughts,
inside.
Matt?
I think it's-
I'm not a big fan of Harold Landry. I think that he's starting to fall off that cliff a little bit.
that's what you do at that age.
I mean, I think he's still got some time left in him, but I mean, what are you going to do? Bring him in for the amount of money that he's owed, and he's going to have 6 sacks?
9, 10, 11.
So Todd, who's your guy you're picking up to round out your roster? A 2025 NFL draft candidate. Who's going to round out that roster of yours?
I mean, you guys scooped up a bunch. What do I got? Keon Coleman.
Well, no, draft.
Oh, draft this year?
Current NFL draft.
Current NFL draft player. Yep.
Oh, brother. I would have to go.
He's going to pick that big cat out of Michigan.
Let's go.
The white-
Let's
the
go.
white- the white
Read my
T-tackle.
mind. Read my
What the hell's his
mind.
name? He wears number 55.
Oh, I don't know. Off the top
Oh
of my head.
God. What's his name? Oh, you're killing me, Matt. Why are we doing this live? Anyway. Tyler, yeah, you got to play referee between me and Matt. Who do you think won that draft, man? Between me and Matt.
I would say
So run down the team again real quickly. Mine is Jim Kelly as captain, Josh Allen, James Cook,
See it on the ticker.
Keon Coleman, Travis Hunter, Myles Garrett, and you had Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, Khalil Shakir, Mr. Alec Anderson, who is a
Dog.
I love when we do that. I feel like Pat McAfee, except way less millions. Terrell Bernard, Ashton Genty, and DK Metcalf was mine. Tyler, give me the verdict. Who won that draft?
Jeffrey.
Woo!
I'm calling a little bit of...
Hey.
He's going to award it to himself.
Hey. Hey, I just switched to your cameras, and I want to say Jeffrey Matt is the winner.
Shut the fuck up. Dude, that was the grossest thing that's ever happened to me on the show.
Matt, you are the winner.
I don't think we got to talk to anybody because I got to get off this damn file.
But real quick,
good draft, though. I thought I hit on a lot of good things. Everything's falling apart.
So the other thing, who would you say is most likely to get injured out of the two teams?
Who's the MVP of this draft? Who's the MVP pick? I think the MVP pick, if I can not speak for myself, you snaking up Josh Allen, that was the MVP. Yeah, you agree, Ty?
Oh, absolutely.
That was an oversight. That was definitely an oversight for me.
Dog.
The guy who's gonna get injured, I don't know. My soul after what Tyler just did to me. So.
I mean,
yeah, you guys are listening to the Third and Manageable podcast. We are sponsored by Iliad Apollos. We are sponsored by Sons of Erie. We are sponsored by Beauty Pools, Kayak Pools, Lardon Construction Group, Fat Boy Surf Club. And we're going to play it out with that. Hey, Matt, who are you going to be talking to in this offseason? I'm talking to Bean.
I talked to Brandon Bean last week, but this week I'm going to be talking to James Cook.
James Cook? Okay.
I am.
Can't imagine what sage advice you're about to offer him.
Stop talking to the media.
11,
like
dude.
I get it.
Settle for 11.
I get it. I get why players negotiate in the media and stuff like that. But just stop that. Like,
just be a human.
Just be a human. Be your quiet self. I get you're opening up a little bit more and stuff like that. But just be your quiet self. Just calm it down a little bit.
Keep delving out of your ear.
Yeah, keep delving out of your ear. Any of these other guys. So that's who I'm talking to.
Because it's Matt, it's everything you need.
Nothing you don't.
Thanks for listening to the Third and Manageable podcast. On behalf of myself, Matt Diegert, super producer Ty. It was a good draft, good show, good game of dodgeball. Hitting you guys out. Thank you guys for listening. We'll play you guys out. If I can find it. For the best Italian food in Western New York, Iliad Apollos, call 716-825-3675. The Lardon Construction Group.
Fubo TV, the official streaming service of Do Champions. FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Do Champions.
For all your summertime needs, beauty pools, as well as kayak pools.
CX Chronicles, your total customer solutions focused manager. W.GG, the official energy drink of Do Champions.
Hey, Sons of Erie, our artwork looks better on your walls. Hamburg Brewing, please visit our tap room on Boston State Road, Hamburg, New York. And finally,
Fat Boy Surf Club for all your surfing needs.